All right, let's do the last day of interest for this flat zone here, which is 12/8/23. You can see it's starting to break up right here. All right, 12/8/23. Let's go look at the 5-minute chart and the 1-minute chart to see what we have. Oh, by the way, this is the high and low of the previous day. All right, this big green candle's high and the big green candle's low. So we see that our candle of study is the one that breaks over previous day high, and that's what we want to be interested in here. Here is where price breaks up over the previous day's high and it closes above the previous day's high. However, when we open the bell rings, we're down here. Okay, now what are we looking for? We're looking for breaker, we're looking for order blocks, we're looking for fair value gaps. So let's see what we got here. We got price that comes down, up, and it doesn't displace. It doesn't displace over the top of the previous high. Here's a down, and then now it displaces. Okay, so let's stop right there. Is there a fair value gap in the displacement? Yeah, there is right there. Right there. All right, I didn't see that earlier. I did notice the one down here, though. And I don't think I'd be interested in this because it didn't displace up yet. We don't know if this is going to go up or down, right? We don't know. We really don't know. So we get a feeling that it's going to go up when it displaces and creates a fair value gap. So this is the very first one right here. I just saw that. So let me mark that out real quick and put entry, possible entry on this, right? Entry, and we have an entry possibly over here as well when it comes back down, right? Possibly, okay? And we've got that. This is the first fair value gap of interest. The next is on this candle here. All right, the pintail comes down right there, creating the top part of the fair value gap. The pintail of the previous bars right here, creating the bottom part of the fair value gap. These come down and test it. They don't close below it, but they do pierce into the first one. Kind of scary depending on where you get in, because if you get in over here and it drops down here, it could stop you out depending on where your stop is at. It's still worth a look, okay? Because if we got in right here, now you're talking, because that would be a nice move to the upside. Now, when a move goes up 1, 2, 3 times, you need a 50% pullback before you get in. So these fair value gaps up here would not be of interest. And you can see they didn't go very far. They didn't go anywhere, okay? This one didn't either. The one that did is the one that pulled back a good bit. How far did it pull back? Let's take a look. We can go from this leg here and see that it pulled back 50%. Okay, and that's exactly what you want. All righty, so let's look at the other potentials. This is a 5-minute chart. This is a fair value gap that worked out pretty good. If you get in early enough and you believe it's going to go take out the highs, it didn't quite take out the highs, but maybe it did. I'd have to use a microscope to check that out. But this is a decent little entry right here. Right? It's worth a try. Your stop loss is small. Look at the potential. I like that a lot. Let me mark that on so I can put a picture on that. There we go. I like that one. That's the 5-minute chart. I don't think we need the 1-minute chart, because if we catch these down here, here's 2 fair value gap entries. This one and this one. And if we could somehow work this out over here, you've got 3 different opportunities to get in on this thing. And, I'm not so sure the 1-minute chart would help, but I guess we could take a quick look at it. Let's take a quick look at it here. So down here, we got we're not interested in this leg here. It doesn't go up high enough. It doesn't displace. This displaces, but there's not really a fair value gap. It doesn't really displace that much. This does. And here's our fair value gap. Okay. It creates an opening right here after this leg goes up. It comes down. It gets in. This is the other areas that we were talking about. The deep pullback right here would have been really cool, because now we can see the unique fair value gap that it dipped into. And you can see that by the time it continues to go straight up, the higher it goes, the less quality the fair value gaps are. They may work, and a lot of times they will work, but they're just, for me, they're higher risk. They're higher risk. I'm more interested in the 50% pullback zones, and they usually are more reliable. Where's that fair value gap over here? Why did I draw this one right here? Well, there's a fair value gap that was ignored, created a fair value gap. Here's another area that created a fair value gap. and it's part of a fair value gap right here. So this area has been producing and reproducing inverse fair value gaps. And here's another fair value gap that it's right in that same area. Okay. And if we were to isolate just the fair value gap on this spot, we can see right here that it did have a little teeny pullback on the second candle. It might have been worth a try if we really believed, that this thing was going to go back up to the highs. That would have been an area of interest. Here's another area of interest, but it just simply didn't pull back. It never pulled back to this area to get in. All right. It did up here, but by the time it gets this high, I need a pullback. I needed to come back down into something before I jump into something up this high. But it might have given us some more insights, especially for this pullback right here. A nice little fair value gap waiting, and the same one on the other chart right here that we saw is on the 1 minute as well. So there you go. That's the last day of this particular study. I'm wondering if I should throw in a couple more days to look at this big pull up now and see if we get better results when the market's trending up. So I might go ahead and just do the next few days on up here and add it to this back test. All right. See you in the next video. Peace.